Thank you, Sis Spider. Good afternoon, everybody. Maraming salamat, sis. Thank you, Kuya Mouse Arabia. Hi, bro. Long time no see. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good afternoon po. Happy weekend. Hi, Mr. Puma. Puma Sandalman. Hi. Puma Sandalsman. Thank you. Thank you very much. Why can't I go to your channel? I don't know. That doesn't matter, right? Hi, cool kid. Thank you. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you. Is this a channel? Oh, good. Cool kid, I'm gonna subscribe to you, Gabriel and Wang. That's my second channel. Anyhow, I'm gonna subscribe that to you for now, and I'm going to come back later. Am I the only one? You're not the only one, don't worry. Are you the only one for what? I'm here. Yes, I'm here on your channel, Cool Kid. Thank you very much. Yeah, I already did as well. Using my second channel. I'm going to, yes, I'm watching this one. See Sammy, I'm rich. Cool Kid, this one. I am. Add Cool Kid. This one, Cool Kid. This is me too. That's my second channel. Not yet monetized, but yeah, I'm working on it. Why do I have a blue name and a syringe? I'm not sure. Thank you very much. I am the only one. Who is this? Bethany Sofia Rojas. Is that Rojas? Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for dropping by. Is this you too, Cool Kid? Sir Allen, maraming salamat. Thank you very much. I am gonna sub to you, Cool Kid. Don't worry. Definitely. I'm gonna do that. But not at this time because I am live streaming. Right after this, right after my live stream, I'm gonna subscribe to you. So you don't have to worry about that. Anyhow, I have you on my second channel, so it would be easy for me to sub to you later. Is that okay? I hope that is. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and it would be much better actually. You already sub to me, so I won't be able. Yes, it would be much better if I would sub a little bit later, you know. So it won't appear like a really reciprocated subscription. It would be much better if after 24 hours I would yes, I would subscribe to you back. Not at this time, but I've got one of my channels sub to you already. Okay, Cool Kid. Thank you. From where are you, Cool Kid? This is a very new channel. You've got 116 subscribers. Yes, that would be one and yes, well, I already did. So later I'm gonna do again another one. These are all games, yeah? It hurts. Chasing views on a road trip. Bro Kurimao, nandito ako sa Chasing Views on a Road Trip. Ang dami na lang sub mo, bro. Ibig sabihin, nag-viral ka na nag-viral ng SC time, no? Screencast time. I remember you, lagi nagba-viral ka before. I have an old friend, Louise, Filipino. Sure, sir. Go on, sleep pa ako. Sis, tuloy ko mamaya. Sure, sure, sure. Thank you very much, Sir Allen. Thank you. Sleep ka pa. Matulog ka pa. And you're from? Where? You're a Filipino? Pwede ba ako mag-Tagalog na lang? Are you a Filipino? Will you understand me if I would speak? I am from... What do you mean you're from Filipino? You're from the Philippines. So you're a Filipino. Okay, di mag-Tagalog na lang tayo. That's good. That's good if you're a Filipino. And maraming salamat. I'm gonna sub to you later, okay? Thank you so much for dropping by. Let's have some dinner. It's dinner time. Let's find later. Okay, that's great. Kain tayo. I'm hungry. So let's go and eat. Thank you very much. Na-like ako sa'yo. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat sa pag-like. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cookie. Maraming salamat. How young are you? Are you young? Are you what? Prime time. Prime time.
Try the new Palmolive Naturals. Now with 2 times natural.
The questions surrounding a 3-year-old girl. From the intense interrogations
So it'll be very matter of fact that we'll be
to the incredible admissions on the witness stand.
Did you lie to the police?
Told them what they wanted to hear.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome to Fun Crime. This is where we do a deeper dive into the most high-profile cases. In 2018, a father drops off his daughter with a babysitter, but it doesn't end with him picking her up. On March 8th, 2018, babysitter Lindsay Parton alerts Ohio police that the toddler she watches suddenly collapsed. That 3-year-old girl was Hannah Weshy. After Hannah is rushed to the hospital, Parton, who is a mother herself, is brought in to speak with law enforcement.
So I walked in, she was in front of me, and she take off her jacket and just fell on the floor. And like I said, I said, what are you doing? She said, go down. It was cold and rope. I'm in shock.
Detectives need to figure out what exactly happened here, including whether this was an accident.
You know, she's this, yeah. And she's at home with her dad, but he's very busy, and he doesn't get to pay attention. Yeah. I'll say, oh, you know, she don't have
what happens in these cases is you'll have some type of an explanation, usually an instant explanation, because we've all been around kids. We all know that kids fall down, they get bumps, they get bruises, and that's something that we've all shared in our common experience.
But it's when detectives reveal Hannah's condition to Parton that the interview changes.
She was a severe so what we need is the truth. How is that?
I'm absolutely telling you the truth. Oh my God.
It's looking at this kind of your house because we need to find out.
I swear to God, I'm telling you the exact truth. We walked in the house.
She did not walk, she did not fall with this type of injury.
Yeah, I promise you she did. You're not being honest with us, and you need to come on with it. Because they're going to be a part of it.
10 days after collapsing, Hannah Weshy would be pronounced dead.
These child abuse cases come right down to the observable injuries. Babies, toddlers, they don't just die all of a sudden. They were able to observe things that are pathognomonic for child abuse. In other words, the only explanation for the existence of these observable injuries, retinal hemorrhages, brain swelling, is inflicted trauma.
Parton goes back to the beginning of the day when she explains something interesting. She says Hannah's father, Jason, brought his daughter over and she was wearing a hood.
Here's the name has enough blanket on her. It's cold, obviously, right now. You know, kiss goodbye, whatever. Come back to teachers. It's looking fine.
Detectives question whether Jason may be at fault.
Is Jason capable of this? Does he have a temper? Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen him hit the kids?
I've not known him long enough to know that, and
Have
I've
you
never been able to
have you ever seen bruises on him?
Really, it could only be one of two people. It was either Parton or it was him, because they literally had their hands on this child and passed her off within moments of each other.
I just know she's been beat, and that's the cause of the death today.
She basically told us that she gets hurt a lot of times, but she always comes home with bruises. That comes to the country when she comes to Mass with bruises. So, clearly, bruises.
Coming up, Parton sits down for a second interview, and it doesn't go the same as the first.
You go, if you ever seen one of these injuries, you have no problems, no. My life on this. This child was beat. This is abuse. They just pulled the plug on this child. This child is dead.
Oh my God!
In 2018, detectives are questioning babysitter Lindsay Parton about the death of her neighbor, 3-year-old Hannah Weshy. Parton claims she was watching Hannah when she suddenly collapsed in front of her. Police, though, don't quite believe that story, considering the toddler's significant head trauma indicating physical abuse.
So I'll be very matter of fact with you. If you're sitting here telling the truth, that's great. But if you're sitting here and you're covering and you know things, listen to the words.
Thanks,
I'm
cool
telling
kid.
you. You will be. There's absolutely no positive way that this child is sitting down, playing, having conversations that it absolutely could not have happened.
It is highly unlikely that she would have been able to have been injured the day before, because treating doctors specifically stated that the blows to her head would have resulted within seconds or minutes. She wouldn't have been able to be functioning.
I was looking at it, I wasn't kidding you, like, what you did for my kids, I don't think I believe in you, I
Parton's called in for a second interview with law enforcement. It's here where she explains away Hannah's various injuries.
Yep, exactly where she fell and on her chin. She didn't even, her hand didn't even hit, like, she just,
So all these small little bruises and hands on the chin.
yes, I know about those right there.
That's all that from that.
Yes. When she looked up at me and said, "Buddy, can I get that and couch?" and went to take her jacket off and she fell on that side.
This is bruised on both sides.
Children can certainly injure themselves in falls. We've all seen it. Every toddler falls down. They have a few
Brother,
months of
thank you.
bruises.
Kapatid, maraming salamat.
And yet they're
Good
not the
afternoon
same
po.
types of injuries. What's the difference is the severity and the number and the location.
So when people fall, you're gonna have bruising on the sharp points. If you fall straight forward, you're not gonna have bruising over here. And that's why we're doing, that's why we want you to come down and fill in some of these holes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, a lot of these aren't adding up to a fall on the gravel.
It's at this point when Parton tells the detectives that she left something out of her story about what happened prior to Hannah suddenly collapsing.
So I slipped on her blanket, I opened the door, and we both went down. I was holding her on that side. The one I slipped, it hit her side. I actually hit my head on the door coming down. But she smacked her face, her neck. And I fell, she fell.
So why would you mind that?
But I didn't want to be in trouble. I didn't want to.
The very beginning, she basically said, I don't know what happened. She just came in and said, couch thrown under the sheet cleans. Well, no, the shortfall that you're describing does not comport with the injuries. Now, we have the biggest problem in this partner, which is that she's already by her own admission caught being untruthful about what happened with the child.
But Parton is about to make an admission that will dramatically affect this whole case.
How is it something?
I felt her pregnant.
With what?
I took all the attention out. Squirted and blew it. And I didn't.
sleep for minutes.
Not only does she confess to having abused Hannah, but listen to
I actually hit my head on the door coming down, that she smacked her face, her head really hurt. So, and I fell.
So why would you hide that?
But I think I'm gonna be in trouble. I don't know.
The very beginning, she basically said, I don't know what happened, and she just came in and said, couch, don't ever mention things. Well, no, the shortfall that you're describing does not comport with the injuries. Now, we have the biggest problem for this partner, which is that she's already by her own admission caught being untruthful about what happened with the child.
But Parton is about to make an admission that will dramatically affect this whole case.
How does this happen?
That's not her second.
With what?
My hand. She took all the ketchup out, squirted it into the toilet, and I didn't take them for her. I really didn't.
Two days were close to this thing, for minutes.
Not only does she confess to having abused Hannah, but listen to what she says she did after Hannah's father dropped his daughter off for the last time.
She didn't want me to go to work. And I heard her, and I go, so we rushed out, and I was like, Hannah, you can't do that, Daddy's gotta go to work.
You sure?
I shook her, and I remember putting her up and squeezing her, and we didn't fall.
How old is she? Yeah, they were angry.
Lindsay Parton is eventually charged with child endangerment, manslaughter, and murder for the death of Hannah Wesche. Yet it's what happens at Parton's trial that further complicates this story.
You didn't know that admitting to shaking Hannah would get you in trouble. No.
When we return.
No, I wasn't yet.
She's over here yet. I did not. But I wasn't at it.
In 2019, Ohio babysitter Lindsay Parton stands accused of killing 3-year-old Hannah Wesche, a child who was in her care when she passed out and later died at a hospital. After Parton admits to investigators that she had physically disciplined Hannah, namely by hitting and shaking the toddler, she's charged with murder, involuntary manslaughter, and child endangerment. Parton's trial began in April of that year.
We don't know exactly what happened here. We only need to prove that Hannah was abused and or that the defendant violated her duty to that child.
Parton's defense argued that she didn't cause Hannah's death. In fact, they say the toddler collapsed within a minute of having been dropped off at Parton's house, and it's possible her injuries could have resulted from something or someone else.
So she can't say it was 20 minutes, she can't say it was an hour, she can't say days.
Because that's reasonable doubt. That says this child was injured somewhere else, not in the 30 seconds, not in the minute that Lindsay Parton had her.
The problem with autopsy and most forensic evidence is we don't know how the child was. So that's why it's always a battle of the experts.
Do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to whether or not Hannah could have been walking or talking or behaving in a normal fashion after receiving the injuries that resulted in her death?
She could not. This is a tremendous brain injury. This is really serious.
If the truth developers today testified as to a significant or severe force, do you disagree with that?
Yeah, I don't think it's really good.
The autopsy shows, without any doubt, that this child died as a result of homicide. This child died as a result of inflicted trauma. The defense experts testified that these injuries, although they do exist, didn't necessarily manifest themselves in one certain time frame that you could pinpoint of who was responsible. So that window, when the injuries might have been inflicted, is open.
In most of the argument, they usually try to for the simple reason that the impact that might impress me about the type of impact where I would have cool and contribute and fractals and big some and all that, and did nothing.
If Parton didn't inflict these injuries, then who did? The defense pointed the finger at Hannah's father, Jason Wesche.
You immediately shoved that thing in reverse and got the heck out of the driveway?
Yeah, when I laid for work, yes ma'am, I saw that.
Is that when Hannah fell in the back seat with her head?
Yeah, I never fell in the back seat.
Because if she fell in the back seat, climbing over the front seat, and hit her head, and it killed her, then you'd be responsible. Isn't that true?
I assume I would, yes, ma'am.
I think the defense had to go with the most easily blamable person, and a lot of times when there is violence, it is within spouses or within a parent. And we also know that he had observed some strange behaviors from her, in addition to some of the things that he said that were not true in terms of going out to get milk. There were several details that wound up not being accurate.
Today is the first time you've told Detective Turner in this room that you didn't go get milk the night before, but instead you went to Fairfield?
No, ma'am.
When did you previously tell him that?
When I found out, like Monday morning when we were there.
I indicated that your whereabouts for the night of the 7th of March were very important and suspicious. Does it have anything to do with that?
No, ma'am.
You lied to the police about milk in Walmart, correct?
I was confused, yes, ma'am.
I found Jason to be relatively credible. He did have some inconsistencies with minor facts. They can be explained by the trauma he was going through missing his child. Overall, he made a good witness.
Up next, the jury would get to hear from another witness, maybe the most important one of all, Lindsay Parton herself.
Ms. Parton, did you think that you could slap her across the face?
I have known other moms to do that.
That's not
So
what I'm
I
asking.
didn't think that it was an issue as a type of discipline.
Listen. Do you know that?
In 2019, Lindsay Parton is facing charges of murder, involuntary manslaughter, and child endangerment out in Ohio. The prosecution claimed that Parton killed 3-year-old Hannah Weshy by physically abusing her during a babysitting session. Parton had even previously admitted to striking and shaking the toddler. The defense, though, argued that Hannah died due to injuries she sustained before being dropped off at Parton's home that day, even throwing suspicions on Hannah's father, Jason. In the end, it was Parton herself who tried to convince the jury of her innocence when she took the stand.
Lindsay, did you cause harm to Hannah Weshy on March 8th?
I did not.
Why did you tell the police that you did?
Because I wanted to protect everybody.
Miss Parton took the witness stand, and she had a very tough road to hoe because she had to explain
Tita
to
May,
jurors
thank you
why
very
she herself
much.
shouldn't be believed.
Hi, Sister Sita, thank you. Maayong hapon, sis.
If she can lie to the police, the prosecution's going to say, well, then she can certainly lie to the jurors.
Why didn't you throw Jason to the wolves to the detectives on March 8th?
Because I care about him. He was my friend. I wanted to protect everybody. I didn't want anybody to be in trouble.
Why would you want to protect someone who did this to a child?
I always think the best of people.
When she told jurors that she was protecting them, she's doing that at the expense of the child because she's not protecting the child. If she wanted to protect the child, she would have told the truth about who actually did this as soon as it happened.
Parton claimed that police coerced her confession.
We know that this is interesting.
Yeah.
Look at me. When you're this group,
No, I know.
this is not the first 3-year-old that we're staring at the picture of, okay? It's not a fault. And you know.
They didn't care what I had to say. I felt pressured. I felt forced. I wanted to protect everybody. I felt bullied.
Did you lie to the police?
I told them what they wanted to hear.
I did not think that the interview was overly suggestive. We've seen many different types of police interviews, and a lot of them have very obvious elements of duress. This was just not one of those examples, specifically because she actually testified to details that were not given to her by the police.
When it was time for the prosecution to cross-examine Parton, they didn't hold back.
You didn't Google how to make a bruise look better, how to make a bruise feel better. You Googled how to get rid of a bruise. Is that right?
Yes.
You indicated that it was your belief you could physically discipline Hannah.
Yes.
You could squeeze her middle.
Yes.
Was it your belief that you could hit her on the face with an open hand?
Yes.
And was it your belief that you could hit her on the chin with a closed fist?
Yes.
And was it your belief that you could shake her?
Yes.
It's always difficult for defendants to decide whether or not to testify at trial, particularly when there are statements that are being used against them. So the decision to testify was risky, and in this instance, it did not pay off. She universally came off very poorly on the stand, appeared to be condescending. I think here it was a mistake to testify.
As to count 4 of the indictment, involuntary manslaughter, we, the duly impaneled jury, do find the defendant Lindsay Parton guilty, accompanied by all 12 signatures. As to count 5 of the indictment, endangering children, we, the duly impaneled jury, do find the defendant Lindsay Parton guilty. As to count 6 of the indictment, murder, we, the duly impaneled jury, do find the defendant Lindsay Parton guilty. All 12 signatures.
The jurors gave Miss Parton an opportunity to be heard, and they just didn't believe her. The testimony that she gave ultimately was totally inconsistent with the physical, observable injuries on the child, and the jury's verdict reflects that.
I do sentence the defendant Lindsay Parton to a lifetime imprisonment with parole eligibility after 15 years.
It's hard to predict whether Miss Parton's going to make parole. Parole boards don't often like to parole people who have committed very violent offenses like this, but if she behaves, tries to better herself, and takes responsibility, she may be able to convince the parole board that she is rehabilitated.
It's something that's in my mind every single day. Time doesn't make anything easier. It makes it rougher. Try and go day by day. I was relieved that that part was over and she was convicted. I'm glad she went to prison, obviously. We hope that she does not make parole in 2037. I didn't see her testimony in court. I was not allowed in the courtroom at that time. It's bewildering. I don't understand how anybody could think that that's okay to do to a child.
It is so hard to think about Hannah Wesche and what she went through. And it's even more scary that Lindsay Parton almost got away with it. Having said that, it seems that Miss Parton is going to remain locked up until her parole hearing, because at the time of this taping, the 12th District Court of Appeals upheld her convictions, and the Ohio Supreme Court declined to hear her case. That's all we have for you here on Prime Crime. Leave us your comments on Instagram and Twitter with the hashtag PrimeCrime. As always, thank you for joining us. And until next time, be safe. On Prime Crime. The video that changed the country.
The first time I saw the cell phone video, I was at a loss for words.
A controversial defense.
If you were to stop this. That's fine. That's fine. Like I said.
And the trial watched by all.
I took probably 40 pages of notes as he testified, and I knew where he had lied.
Hi everybody, I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome to Prime Crime. This is where we do a deeper dive into the most high-profile and memorable true crime cases. This is a story that captivated the entire nation, and it all started with a cell phone video. The video you're watching is from February 23rd, 2020. It shows a young man running in Satilla Shores, a neighborhood near Brunswick, Georgia.
The first time I saw the cell phone video, I was at a loss for words.
That man was 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. As you'll see, Arbery is running in the direction of Gregory McMichael and his son Travis McMichael. The video is from the cell phone of their neighbor William Roddy Bryan. What happens next will change the lives of all four men. Within seconds, Ahmaud Arbery is shot and killed.
I was searching for what else could there be? Why would someone do this?
When police arrive on the scene, they try to figure out what happened by interviewing all three men.
I was in my driveway. I look up, this guy comes hauling ass down the street. I'm talking about in a dead run. He's not jogging. The guy, he's at numerous occasions, the guy has broken into a house over here. Nobody can ever catch him. They've had him on video.
According to the McMichaels, they believed Arbery was a criminal, a man they say had routinely trespassed on the property of their neighbor Larry English. In fact, surveillance footage from English's home shows Arbery previously entering onto the premises.
When you look at Larry English's video and you see Ahmaud Arbery walking in and out of this property, the question becomes, what are you looking at? What are you looking for? Why are you walking around in this manner and so consistently when you've never had permission to do so?
We've had break-ins and a gun stolen. That was outside, so I'm running by, neighbors pointing and everything. So
Saw who running by?
Out on top of the suspicious walking around of Ahmaud Arbery, you have a gun missing from Travis McMichael's truck across the street. You have an item being stolen from Larry English's boat. So it starts to raise more questions than answers.
Gregory McMichael explains that even though they didn't know Arbery, they had a recent encounter with him.
Travis is leaving the neighborhood the other night. As he's leaving the neighborhood, he looks over to the left and sees this guy walking across a neighbor's yard. You know, and he said the guy's acting shaky. At some point, the lights hit him, the guy hauls ass to the house.
An episode to which police responded.
we don't see him back there unless he jumped the fence.
I think Travis and his dad certainly demonstrated that their goal in the neighborhood was to try to protect themselves and their neighbors from crime. And there were other experiences where they had done as they did with Mr. Arbery, where they had gone out, they had taken firearms with them, where they had sought to understand why the person was there or what they were doing in the neighborhood or whether they were connected to criminal activity, and they called the police.
How did this all end, though, with Ahmaud Arbery dead?
He comes hauling ass down the street. I run in the house and said, Travis, come on, let's go. So Travis runs and gets the shotgun. Because the other night, the guy stuck his hand in his pants. So we take off. I see him come around the corner. He's going down here. We pull up beside him. Hey, stop, I want to talk to you. And he just keeps on running. Travis backs up and says, hey, stop, I want to talk to you. So the guy, I mean, he's looking dead at us, you know, I mean, he's like idiot. And he turns, he runs. Travis gets out with the damn shotgun and runs up there. The guy turns and he comes down. And they start wrestling, and Travis shoots him right in the damn chest. And the guy was trying to take the shotgun away from him.
This father said to his son, let's go, grab your gun, he's back, let's go get him.
To keep an eye on the number one suspect, he responded with nothing. No explanation, anything, until the point that he decided that his way out of this attention was to attack Travis.
If he would have stopped,
That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, just
Is this just a simple case of citizens stopping a suspected criminal? As you'll see, not at all.
Black guy was tired of running. He seen me around the corner right there, and he was like, man, I'm done.
That's my son that shot him. I was back in the truck. I need to get this blood.
Kapatid, maraming salamat. Kids Warriors, hi.
Back on February 23rd,
Sis Vina, thank you very
2020,
much.
Father and son Gregory and Travis McMichael are
Thank you
speaking with
po.
Georgia police. They explain they followed an African-American man who was running in their Satilla Shores neighborhood, believing he was a suspected criminal in the area. In fact, that man, later identified as Ahmaud Arbery, had been seen on surveillance footage possibly trespassing onto a property on previous occasions, and the McMichaels had even encountered him earlier that same month.
We've had a string of burglaries. I was leaving the neighborhood, and I just caught a guy running into a house being built. I don't know if he's armed or not.
The McMichaels claim that what started with them following and merely asking questions to Arbery ended with him running away and then attacking Travis, with the younger McMichael opening fire in self-defense.
Last night I don't know what was going on.
However, there's someone we haven't heard from yet, William Roddy Bryan, the McMichaels' neighbor who filmed this shooting on his cell phone.
I'm on the
Tracy and running by. So I hollered at him. I said, "Y'all got him?" And he just kept running.
Even though William Bryan didn't have direct communication with the McMichaels, we're going to jump in to help just because, at least I think for Bryan, he perceives that to be the neighborly thing to do.
Listen carefully, though, to Bryan's description of events.
I pulled out that my driveway was going to try to block me. And he went all around it, and I made a few moves at him. Thrown under the damn windshield. Should we been chasing me? I don't know.
It soon becomes clear that these men were actively chasing and blocking Arbery with their cars. In fact, Gregory McMichael would tell a detective, quote, he was trapped like a rat. Yet there's a serious problem with what these three men believed about Arbery. The evidence would show that not only was Arbery not armed with a weapon, but he wasn't committing a burglary, robbery, or any violent crime that day, and there was no proof he had ever stolen anything from anyone in that neighborhood. It seems that on the day in question, Arbery may just have been jogging.
To have gone in the house and grabbed guns, having assumed the absolute worst in their driveway decision, that's where all of this went wrong.
You may think that these men were immediately apprehended for what they did, but rather, they were all free to go. The McMichaels weren't arrested until over 2 months after the shooting.
You have to look at the interaction between Gregory and McMichael and the officers. They know.
Faster with Duratas.
What? I really miss the smell of my grandchild. Let's go on a picnic. New My Baby Powder with a fresh floral fragrance. The fragrance that makes everyone miss the baby smell. Baby tested to be not irritating and gentle on baby skin. Finally, Granny's here too. My Baby Powder, the fragrance that makes everyone miss their babies more. My Baby, Mom's trusted brand.
Who Gregory McMichael is. And you can almost see him directing the police officers as he's giving his narrative as to what occurred. And you can see a sense of respect that these officers give to Gregory McMichael in taking that narrative.
Hey Greg, how are you? I'm fantastic. Yeah. You're doing this. I did it right. No, Bobby, you can't go.
Well, I keep...
Gregory McMichael was previously a police officer himself. He was also an investigator in the office of former District Attorney Jackie Johnson. In fact, this is the voicemail he left her after the shooting.
Combine that with the problems that former DA Jackie Johnson is now facing and that she's being prosecuted for showing favor towards the McMichael, specifically Gregory McMichael, that kind of explains why there were no arrests off the bat.
I lost a lot, my family and I, and then we had to go out and actually fight to get some attention, to get a rest.
This arrest only occurred by the grace and strength of what I believe to be Wanda Cooper Jones, who stayed on this story until it was made public. And it was the releasing of that video that we all got to see what happened. And the narrative of Gregory McMichael and Travis McMichael and anyone else kind of fell apart.
In the end, not only were Gregory and Travis McMichael arrested, but 3 weeks later, so too was William Bryan.
Mr. Bryan is the one who redirected Ahmaud not out of the subdivision, but up Holmes Drive, so that he encountered the McMichaels and then became trapped and pinned between the two pickup trucks.
All three men would be charged with multiple felonies, including murder for Ahmaud Arbery's death. While many people across the country were outraged over the killing of Arbery, the legal question of whether these men actually committed a crime wasn't so easy to answer. When we return. In May 2020, father and son Gregory and Travis McMichael, as well as their neighbor William Roddy Bryan, are arrested in connection with the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery. While the video of this encounter, captured on Bryan's cell phone, became a viral sensation across the country, the legal question became, was this murder? According to the government, these men unlawfully hunted down Arbery based on an assumption he was a criminal, although they had no actual knowledge Arbery had done anything illegal that day. Yet the McMichaels had previously seen videos of Arbery possibly trespassing onto the property of their neighbor Larry English. Also, the McMichaels had recently encountered Arbery entering onto that property.
I've seen these videos, so I know what the guy looks like. This guy comes hauling ass down the street. Like I said, I mean, like something's after him. Travis grabs his shotgun. We don't know if this guy's armed, because the other night, the guy stuck his hand down his pants and it slid Travis and things to the farm.
The McMichaels and Bryan's defense teams argued that although these men may have been mistaken about Arbery's actions, they did nothing wrong and were protected under Georgia's then citizens arrest law, which has since been repealed.
If an individual commits a crime within your presence or within your immediate knowledge, you are allowed to detain them. In the law's application of this case, the McMichaels and Bryan are saying that a felon in their presence, that they had seen Ahmaud Arbery flee from Larry English's home, and that this law allowed them to chase after and effectuate a citizen's arrest.
Travis hauls ass up there, tries to cut him off, gets in front of him. The guy turns and runs.
Call the police. Trust that they're going to show up and do the right thing. And we know that in this case, had Officer Rash encountered Ahmaud Arbery, he was just going to put him on the phone with Larry English and let Larry English decide whether to issue a trespass warrant. And that's what his standard operating procedure was going to be, which is of course much different than what these defendants chose to do.
Apart from the citizens arrest law, the McMichaels claimed they acted in self-defense.
I said, stop! And then Travis jumps out with the shotgun. He runs up here, and the guy more or less attacks him. He runs towards him, and they get down a fight over the damn shotgun. Bam!
The video showed self-defense by Travis because you could very clearly see Ahmaud Arbery not turning to run away, but turning that dramatic left turn across the front of the truck and traveling all the way across the front of the truck to meet Travis at the other side. This was an attack, that Ahmaud Arbery was the primary aggressor at that moment, and that Travis had no choice.
Yeah,
he struck me a few times.
Okay, well, let him, where were you struck? Okay.
The fundamental aspect of self-defense is you cannot be the provocateur. You cannot be the person who's the initial aggressor. While the McMichaels want to ignore that 5-minute chase of Ahmaud Arbery, the cutting off, the veering off, the bumping into a car, the screaming out the window, that's initial aggression.
There's something else to consider about the video of the shooting.
Travis McMichael had lifted up that 12-gauge pump-action shotgun and directed it at Ahmaud Arbery when he was actually feet away from him. And so that shows a lack of immediacy, a lack of danger to his life, and that goes directly against any claim of self-defense.
William Roddy Bryan also claimed he was protecting himself from Arbery.
He was trying to get my truck. He tried to get my gold.
But was Arbery just protecting himself from Bryan, who allegedly tried to hit Arbery with his car? Coming up, the groundbreaking trial for these three defendants and the testimony you can't miss.
And all he had done so far is run away from you, right?
And I'll let him run away, yes.
I pulled his arm out, and then I realized I didn't have anything in his hand, and saw that this ain't gonna last long.
On November 5th, 2021, Brunswick, Georgia took center stage as the trial began for Travis McMichael, his father Gregory McMichael, and their neighbor William Roddy Bryan. All three men were charged with the murder of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. The prosecution alleged that the defendants assumed Arbery was a criminal and then proceeded to unlawfully chase him with their cars, and while blocking his exit, Travis McMichael gunned him down. a shooting captured on Brian's cell phone video.
They shot and killed him. Not because he was a threat to them, but because he wouldn't stop and talk to them.
The defendants argued they had reasonable suspicion to pursue Arbery under Georgia's then citizens arrest law, given that Arbery had been seen frequently entering onto a neighbor's property without permission.
Ahmaud Arbery is not an innocent victim. He was a recurring nighttime intruder.
The McMichaels also argued that Travis acted in self-defense when Arbery attacked him and allegedly tried to get his gun away from him.
He is afraid that he will beat him with his fist or whatever weapon he might have, and so he raises the gun.
As for William Bryan, who was in a separate car from the McMichaels, he tried to distance his actions from those of his co-defendants.
Mr. Bryan cannot be a party to a crime by accident. Roddy Bryan didn't shoot Mr. Arbery. Roddy Bryan certainly was not aware of any intention on the part of Travis McMichael to shoot Mr. Arbery.
Covering this case in Georgia was interesting, seeing how people at restaurants or people in cabs.
Hi, Sis Jovelyn. Good evening. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much, sis.
Focus on this case.
Thank
No
you.
day may have caused more of a stir than when Travis McMichael took the stand.
And I said, hey, the police are on the way. As soon as I said the police, he turned and ran straight back down. So I would have lost that grip on a shotgun, that I would have been shot or I would have been in serious trouble at that point. And he was not relenting. So I shot again to stop him.
I took probably 40 pages of notes as he testified, and I knew where he had lied, I knew where he had embellished, I knew where he had minimized.
So it's fair to say you had incomplete information about who was committing the crimes in Stilla Shores?
Yes.
So you're telling this jury that a man who has spent 5 minutes running away from you, you're now thinking is somehow going to want to continue to engage with you, someone with a shotgun, and your father, a man who's just said, stop or I'll blow your head off, by trying to get in their truck?
That's what it shows, yes, ma'am.
You could have made sure that you and your dad called the police from your house at 2:36 Central Drive before you ever got that pickup truck, correct?
I could have.
You could have just continued to drive behind Mr. Arbery and not even speak to him in front of him. Isn't that true?
Could have.
After all the evidence were presented and deliberating over 11 hours, the jury returned their verdicts.
Malice murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Travis McMichael, guilty. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Greg McMichael, guilty. Felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, William R. Bryan, guilty.
Thank God. We were just so relieved that justice finally came for the family. It was a long, hard fight.
Citizens arrest law in Georgia did not allow the McMichaels and Bryan to do what they did.
I look at the video of this incident. It's the frame of Travis McMichael lifting the shotgun to fire at Ahmaud Arbery and thinking about a young man that had been running at that point for almost 5 minutes. And it is truly disturbing.
Judge Walmsley sentenced both McMichaels and Bryan to life in prison, but only Bryan with the possibility of parole.
The actions of Bryan showed almost regret or pause or second thought as to whether or not this was right. And I think that made it very easy for Judge Walmsley to say, you know what? Consec, life sentences, and we'll get a little different for William Roddy Bryan.
I told you I love you, and someday, somehow, I will do you justice. Son, I love you as much today as I did today that you were born.
He is and was a human being, a son, a brother, somebody who had potential in their life to do almost anything. He was an avid runner, and they took his life at the age of 25. His lifeblood just covering that street in the Satilla Shores neighborhood. and that they had no right to do it.
At the time of this taping, the McMichaels and Bryan face a second trial, this one in federal court on hate crimes charges, the allegation being that they were racially motivated in their attack on Arbery. You know, it's really something to think about where we are in this case, and especially how it all started, which makes you wonder, if there wasn't a video of the shooting, do you think these men would have been found guilty? Would they have even been arrested? That's a question for everyone to consider. That's all we have for you here on Prime Crime. Leave us your comments on Instagram and Twitter with the hashtag PrimeCrime. As always, thank you for joining us, and until next time, be safe.
Rihanna, stop. Rihanna, stop.
Can't stop finger combing my hair with my new Palmolive Naturals. Now,
On Prime Crime.
Sheriff's office, who's inside?
Watch your asses, John.
It's a scene that left officers shocked.
I saw that there was some legs on the ground, saw that there was blood. I saw that the guy was missing half his face.
A race to find a missing girl.
Any child comes up missing, it pisses me off.
My first thoughts were, I mean, it was like I was literally seeing a ghost.
And the evil behind it all.
There is no doubt in my mind that you are one of the most dangerous men to ever walk on this planet.
Hey everybody, I'm Jesse Weber, and welcome to Prime Crime. This is where we do a deeper dive into the most high-profile and memorable true crime cases. Several years ago, the nation was captivated by an unspeakable crime and kidnapping. And what would unfold, we're still trying to explain. What you're hearing is the frantic call police received on October 15, 2018. The call originated from the cell phone of Denise Claus from Barron County, Wisconsin.
The Denise Claus 911 call is absolutely chilling. You don't hear a whole lot of explanation. You hear some words, but you mainly hear the chaos that's going on.
Then there's quiet. Officers rush to the home of Denise, her husband James, and their 13-year-old daughter Jamie.
Open door. Somebody's down. Somebody's down.
Sheriff's office, who's inside?
Watch your asses, John.
When authorities arrive just minutes after the 911 call, they find a gruesome sight.
We got a dead body in this one. We got a body in here too.
James and Denise Claus are shot dead.
Dead body right at the front door. Heavy trauma to the face, gunshot, looks like a shotgun shell to the face. There's one shell, expended shell, next to the body. Found another one in the bathroom, almost directly straight back from the front door, in the bathtub, dead.
As for Jamie,
Door's been breached. We're missing somebody.
She's nowhere to be found.
Still missing a gun? We're missing a lot.
A widespread search for the missing teenager ensues, with the FBI even offering a reward of $25,000 for information leading to Jamie's whereabouts.
There were search teams put together. There were thousands of tips rolling in. 95% of those tips end up being nothing. Canvassing, knocking on doors, they did not exhaust one means to try to find their answer.
We statistically know that every hour that passes in a situation like this where a child is abducted, the chance of finding them alive goes down. 2 people were brutally murdered and she was taken from the house. I mean, there isn't a higher stakes than that ever.
About a week later, as Jamie's parents are laid to rest, a startling development. Authorities are alerted to someone breaking into the Claus home. The burglar is apprehended and ID'd as 32-year-old Kyle Janky Annis.
In all reality, there was her underwear or something like that. Any child comes up missing pisses me off. And it makes me want to go hunt him.
Janky Annis turns out to not be the killer, just a common criminal who wanted to steal some things.
Turns out to be a massive red herring, but it drains very important resources and manpower at a time when you can't afford to be diverted from the intention of the investigation.
At the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, we were wondering the same thing. Is Jamie out there? Is she even alive? As the days went on, media attention, at least nationally, started to go down. We're strategizing behind the scenes, trying to figure out, what we could do. I had plans to go out to Wisconsin and see if we could bring more attention to Jamie's case.
Unfortunately for investigators and the Kloss family, with each passing day, the outcome for Jamie is getting worse and worse.
Hi, I have a young lady at my house right now, and she just says her name is Jamie Kloss.
On January 10th, 2019, over 2 months after the killings, Jamie Kloss is suddenly found alive in Gordon, Wisconsin, an hour away from Barron.
Okay, have you seen her photo now? Yes, I did. Okay.
For 88 days, I have stood before you and said we would work tirelessly to bring Jamie Kloss home. Today, I can report we have done just that.
When we heard the news that Jamie was found, I can't even describe it to you what happened at the National Center. We were stunned. It was emotional. We were happy.
According to the caller, Kristen Kazinkas, her neighbor, Jeannie Nutter, found Kloss. She gets on the phone and explains what happened.
So how did she come up behind your cabin? I was walking my dog, and we were almost home, and she was walking towards me, crying, saying, "You gotta help me, you gotta help me."
Jamie's ability to escape in this case is amazing to me. I mean, all too often, and unfortunately most of the time, we don't have a positive resolution like this. It's really through the resilience and the courage of the person who's escaped.
When I saw her, I knew she was in trouble because I knew wherever she came from, she left in a hurry. Because she just had on a sweatshirt and leggings and shoes that were too big for her.
It's rare to have somebody found alive after 48 hours in missing person cases because the trail dries up very quickly if you're not able to find something within that period of time. Time and distance works against police officers. So 88 days is incredibly remarkable.
On my first thoughts were I basically went into shock. Yeah, I mean, it was like I was literally seeing a ghost. I told Jamie when she was sitting on my couch yesterday, she said, "I am so glad to see you."
Jamie was able to escape, but from who?
Do you know when he's gonna come back? He thought he was gonna come back home. Who's gonna come back?
Jake Thomas Patterson, a then 21-year-old ex-Marine.
Kuya Sonny,
After
thank
Nutter
you.
identifies the suspect,
Maraming salamat,
Patterson
Kuya.
is located by police
Thank you
on
very
his
much.
car and immediately says, "I did it." But when he's thrown in the back of a cruiser, listen to the odd exchange between him and the officer.
You're no longer detained. You're under arrest now. Oh, don't tell you when you have to be officer.
So I'm gonna turn off my car.
Yeah, the other officer will take care of it for you. It's gonna be a little bit of a drive, so if you want to get comfy. That's possible.
On some level, he's confused, he's in shock, even though he knew this probably would be the end of how it all turned out.
Soon after his arrest, Patterson not only admits to police that he kidnapped Jamie and murdered her parents, but he voluntarily provides additional dark details.
I think Jake Patterson almost immediately confessed because he knew that if Jamie ever escaped, he was done for. I mean, there's no debate about what happened. There's no chance of him trying to explain this away.
We would learn he became infatuated with the 13-year-old after randomly seeing her getting on a school bus.
It seems to me like he had this thing of wanting to abduct someone, a child, and this presented the opportunity for him. Something clicked in him, and it flipped a switch, and that was the moment.
Through Patterson's admission, we got a clear picture of what was happening on that 911 phone call.
By his own admission, I think he was only in that house for 4 minutes or so. So to carry out this entire thing that quickly, it tells me that he had an objective, he knew what he was doing, he had a purpose and a focus. He needed to kill the father first, because that's the biggest threat you're going to have.
He actually shot James through the window, point blank, before shooting the front door, kicking it down, and then trying to find where Jamie was. He ended up busting through into the bathroom and finding them both in the tub, with the mother trying to protect her at that point.
Investigators then realized that Patterson had slipped through their fingers. Let's go back to Deputy John Fick's dash cam. As he rushes to the Kloss home on the night of the murders, notice the car on the left. That was Jake Patterson, driving with a stolen license, and Jamie tied up in the trunk, something officers even picked up on at the time.
That one car was heading out, they're coming. But they killed my camera. Yeah. A car going that way, that was the car that yielded. Yeah, you're right. I had it at 54.
We all want to say, darn it, that he should have been caught, the police were that close, but remember, the police had just received a call from the house that an act of violence was taking place, so their main focus was on getting to that house as quick as they could. Patterson actually pulled off to the shoulder to let the police pass, which is what most people do, so he didn't do anything out of the ordinary.
I downloaded the video, I couldn't get anything, like the headlights were blocking, and I don't even know if he even had a front license plate.
It's just one of those real unfortunate things that they didn't have the manpower to dispatch someone to follow or get on that car and respond to the scene at the same time.
When we come back, we're going to get into the details of Jamie's captivity, and we hear from Patterson himself.
Mr. Patterson, not only were you a danger to the Kloss family,
And then I shined it again and saw that there was some legs on the ground, saw that there was blood, opened the door, and so that I saw that the guy was missing half his face.
Back on January 10, 2019, 13-year-old Jamie Kloss stunned the world by miraculously escaping the home of Jake Patterson, a man who had murdered her parents in cold blood and held her hostage for months. Now, Patterson immediately confessed, and we would then gain greater insight into the kidnapping and his mind. What exactly happened, though, during Jamie's 88 days of imprisonment? According to Patterson, he kept the girl locked in his cabin, at times forcing her into his bed for hours with no food, water, or bathroom breaks. They would play board games, watch TV, and would even sleep in the same bed.
Friends of his have said during that time frame they noticed an uptick in his personality, that he was friendly and he seemed to be happier. So I think in his warped mind, he was forming a life together with Jamie, and they were going to, I don't know, maybe live happily ever after.
In this particular case, it was about power and control combined. Knowing that he had somebody who was young and immature, that he could have power over, and she could do whatever he wants her to do.
Patterson, though, never thought Jamie would actually try to escape.
Obviously Jamie is under this tremendous fear, and he's using that fear at the beginning to keep her captive. He doesn't have to do much to make her more fearful of him because of what she witnessed at her own house that night.
I think for her, she just kept it together every day. She didn't know when she was going to get out, or if she ever was going to. It must have taken everything inside her to just take that moment and run. I can't even say enough about how brave and courageous she was that day.
Patterson claims, though, despite his obsession with Jamie, he never sexually assaulted her.
It was never about the sexuality of it. I think it was about the companionship and having somebody that he can hold accountable to him.
Since the district attorney in that area decided not to prosecute any charges that related to behavior of those 88 days, they decided not to put Jamie through any kind of investigation. So we really won't ever really know what happened during those 88 days in full detail.
Patterson's charged with intentional homicide, kidnapping, and armed burglary. As he sat in jail awaiting trial, he stuns the public by writing a letter to a local reporter, once again providing more answers to what he was thinking.
The cops say I planned this thoroughly, and that I said that. They're really good at twisting your words around, put them in different spots, straight up lie. Little mad about that. Trying to cover up their mistakes, I guess. This was mostly on impulse. I don't think like a serial killer.
I think Patterson writing the letter to the local reporter was his way of letting the public know what was happening in his head. It was an atrocious act. Now it's his time to say, you know what? Yeah, I did this, but for the reason is because of these issues that he has.
When asked what was going through his mind when he started perpetrating the crime, Patterson said he was angry and didn't want to do it, but the reason I did this is complicated.
Patterson ends up not fighting the charges.
How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
I think that he knew he couldn't beat the charges and he wanted it over as soon as possible. In his warped mind again, he did voice some concern about not wanting to put Jamie through a trial. He put her through so much, right? The horrific things that he did to her, and now he has some kind of vague concern. You know, I'm not a psychologist, but I think that, you know, some of that might have been genuine.
At Patterson's sentencing, it became a question of whether or not this man could ever get a chance at parole. We would hear powerful victim impact statements, but in one of the most dramatic moments, a family attorney reads a statement from Jamie Kloss.
I don't want to even see my home or my stuff because of the memory of that night. My parents and my home were the most important things in my life. He took them away from me in a way that will always leave me with a horrifying memory. But there are some things that Jake Patterson can never take from me. He can't take my freedom. He thought that he could own me, but he was wrong. I was smarter. I watched his routine and I took back my freedom. I will always have my freedom and he will not.
Her family members now who are helping raise her gave her the strength to say that she will not let this influence the way she lives the rest of her life, that she will be happy going forward and that he's going to be in her rearview mirror. So I think it's extremely powerful.
You know, the fact that he tried to take things from her, and he did take things from her, but he couldn't take away who she was. I saw it as a very remarkable young woman.
Then Patterson has some final words himself.
I would do, like, absolutely anything to take back what I did, you know? And I would die. I would do absolutely anything. So, to bring them back, you know? I don't care about me, I'm just so sorry. Listen.
I think Patterson apologizing and crying and tearing up was again another manipulation. Whether or not he felt terrible about it, he said he wanted to go back in time and he wished he didn't kill her parents and he wished he wasn't in that situation. Well, of course not. He's going to jail for the rest of his life.
Then it's Judge James Badler's turn, and he doesn't hold anything back.
Your actions and the ideas that you had are not normal. They are shockingly not normal. I have no idea what rehabilitation could be provided for you. No one suggested any rehabilitation. Because even from your own side, the doctors can't find anything wrong with you.
For a judge to use the harsh language that he did, you know, clearly indicates he was horrified the events that took place in that house that night and subsequent to that night.
And these crimes rank as the most heinous and dangerous that I have seen either here or anywhere else in the state of Wisconsin, and perhaps the United States.
At one point, Judge Babler read aloud the words of Patterson, but the defendant wasn't happy.
She was the first girl I saw once I had those ideas in my head. Mr. Patterson, not only were you a danger to the Kloss family,
And that was his way of exerting his last morsel of power in that setting in order to show the public that, again, he is in charge.
there is no doubt in my mind that you are one of the most dangerous men to ever walk on this planet.
Babler sentenced Patterson to 2 life terms without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 40 years.
Today was a very important step in the process of helping Jamie to move forward. We are satisfied with the outcome and believe that it will give Jamie some much needed peace of mind.
As Jake Patterson spends the rest of his life behind bars wrestling with the decisions he made, he may also have to wrestle to save his life. In video obtained from the New Mexico Corrections Department, Patterson is seen getting into a physical altercation with another inmate after he reportedly was harassed for the crimes he committed against a minor.
It's typical when an offender abuses children, there's some kind of jailhouse code that if they get in contact with somebody who is incarcerated for those things, they're going to make it known that it's unacceptable. And a lot of times those people end up dead.
As for Jamie, her aunt and guardian Jennifer Smith says she's doing good, surrounded by loved ones, and is taking life day by day.
Jamie will very likely have more to say in the future, but we are grateful for you allowing her to do that on her own terms.
I've been involved in a couple of recoveries of this type through my career, and I think that in this case, the possibility of Jamie moving on with her life is strong. She has proved herself to be a very courageous, very remarkable, very resilient young lady.
I just want people to remember that there are thousands of missing children out there. It's up to us to make sure we're aware of the missing children in our community, because we could be that person to help bring that child home.
At the time of this taping, we just passed the 2-year anniversary from when Jamie was found. And as we look back, it's still hard to make sense of why all this happened to her, and maybe it'll never make sense. But Jamie's aunt released a statement on the 2-year mark, encouraging everyone to never take life for granted, and that, quote, "You never know what tomorrow will bring. Always remember to take the time to tell your loved ones you love them." And maybe we just leave it at that. That's all we have for you on Prime Crime. Leave us your comments on Instagram and Twitter with the hashtag PrimeCrime. As always, thank you for joining us, and until next time, be safe.
Show how much you care every day.
Green Coast Daily Care, germ protection, release to give vitamins in up to 5 hours.
Where were you when you shot Christy?
Where's she at?
I don't know, you tell me. You shot her?
This woman you see is Amanda Beth Butler. Just hours before this interview, Amanda tried to kill her own wife, Christy. And what she is completely unaware of right now is that despite shooting her, Christy is still alive.
She's gonna survive. It's not life-threatening injury.
And she will tell the detectives everything, revealing that the concerned wife Amanda pretends to be
Hated it there for my life.
is not the wife she actually is. Because hidden beneath the tears and lies is an evil, vile woman.
Amanda, listen to me. You're not being honest with me. We have the evidence and we have the facts. We have no sides of the story. But you shot her tonight. She didn't shoot you. You shot her.
In the early morning hours of September 2nd, 2019, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office responded to an unusual call. A woman, panicked, told them that her neighbor had stumbled over to her home, bleeding from a wound in her hip, and telling her hysterically that her wife had just shot her. The victim, Christy, was rushed to a hospital, Meanwhile, her wife, Amanda Beth Butler, was taken into police custody for questioning, because after speaking with Christy, it was clear to detectives that Amanda was set on killing her that night. What she wasn't prepared for was Christy surviving to tell the tale, and it's a tale much, much worse than anyone could expect.
See, man. Yeah, I'm gonna take the bar early, so I'm just okay. This is Sergeant Goldfarb. Alright, we just wanna kinda go over everything, explain to you what's going on, what happened tonight, let you tell us about what you know, okay? Before we get going, ask you any questions. Well, we're gonna try to get it anyway. I mean, before we do that, though, I just wanna make sure I have the correct information for you. I have Amanda Beth Butler, 7585. Is that you? Is that you? Okay. And 7585 is your correct date of birth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Listen, before we go too far into things, start talking and asking questions, okay? I wanna go over your constitutional rights with you. That's something we have to do with everyone, whether they're under arrest or not. You bring somebody in and interview them about an incident that you know the rights, okay?
I understand.
Okay. The other thing I do with everybody is just to confirm that you do read and write, okay? Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol right now?
I had a Bloody Mary about 4 hours ago, but I was sweating that out when I was.
Okay. Do you feel like it's anything that should affect your ability to talk or communicate or?
No, sir, I'm just tired as heck. I'm sure it came from. I'm sorry.
I understand that.
Detectives read Amanda her rights following this, which she's no stranger to, just like she's no stranger to a Bloody Mary. In 2013, she was arrested and charged with driving under the influence, and while that crime is a problem in and of itself, the story that she's about to unravel poses questions about how and when her behavior began to escalate. Because as you're about to see, what happened between her and her wife couldn't have been a one-time thing, and it poses the question, just how long had Amanda's wife been living in terror of being killed?
Tell us what happened. How do we get to where we are now? It's obviously been a long night, so just kind of in your own words, run me through everything that's happened. How we got to this point.
Would be great if I could lay down a couple hours before we get here, but
Well, we can't do that. We're here now, okay?
it started at 5 a.m.
It started at 5 a.m.? Okay.
Yes.
So,
Really?
so like 24 hours is at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the whole premise for the day was we got into a hurricane front, obviously, and I asked her everything that I needed to do, and she,
You say she, who are you referring to?
Christy,
Okay.
she just kept saying, well, I'm sick, and I've been Floridian, and we're to Mississippi native, and the eye turn, I gotta take a nap, blah, 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 and
So,
she
okay,
just
so you felt like she was basically minimizing the whole hurricane situation that upset you? Like she wasn't taking it serious?
I mean, she was blown out of proportion a few days ago, and I'm from Mississippi, so I don't know hurricanes, so I was just following up with what her mom said that we needed to do, and she kept rolling over and going back to sleep until about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and then popped up panicking about things that were not done. And I was doing the best that I could do, and this has been the worst mistake of my life.
What's that?
This relationship. I've always been an academic, a hard worker, and there's a lot of differences. I mean,
I understand, but talk about how did we get to where police and ambulances got called out tonight? What led up to that? How did we get there?
She said she woke up about 4 p.m.
yeah, I mean, yeah, she lays in
done all day.
So that upsets you? I mean, is that kind of the cause of an issue? Or?
I've been in cybersecurity for about 5 years now. Unfortunately, I was laid off about 3 months ago, but I just accepted a new position this morning. But after this, I'm sure I.
Well, why do you say that? That's what we're trying to. That's what we're asking.
I worked 7 to 10 days, 10-hour days at my field. And it's hard for me to have to pay all of the bills and then come home and do everything at the house and take care of the dogs. And
Alright, so did you guys have an argument then once you woke up at 4 p.m.? How were you towards her once you woke up?
we're at the point where we don't speak. I can't say, how was your day?
Has this been an ongoing thing?
Yes, it's been going on for months, and I asked for a divorce in February, and
But something happened today between you. Y'all spoke at some point. I mean, you had to speak because something happened. Okay, a lot happened.
we did. She for her family. I mean, her mom called and yesterday. I mean, she said, you know, we need to get up and by 5, 6 this morning. We need to get the girls in and put them up and get out. I showed the dresser and she just kept saying, I said, I don't feel good. I've got this rash all over my body and trying to say that my job or got her out of the morning. And that was all my fault, so I didn't really have a right to speak. And she just, it sounded this relationship's been hard.
An argument that Amanda fully believes police will only hear one side of, because at this point, she doesn't know whether her wife is alive or dead. And oddly, she doesn't seem all that concerned by it, does she?
So how do we get to the point though where you're all cut up and she's shot? I want to talk about that, but something happened before y'all were.
I think police got called at 11 p.m. So between 4 and 11, it's about 6-7 hours.
Sishe, hi, good morning.
Yeah, I worked my tell-off.
Uy, ano yung marites na yan?
This, I mean, not all of this is her.
Sir Aling, gumising ka na talaga?
Around and driving girls across the yard.
So the altercation with her, about what time did you guys say?
Sishe, ano yung marites? Naghanap naman. Aharan ka pa ba?
A heavy argument. The date started with.
Ano yung meron?
You're a deadbeat. You're blah, blah, blah. I'm making another people stay here. Paying all of the bills.
Ano yung galit sa iyo, sis ko niya?
She wants a maid, I get her a maid. She wants a yard cat,
Ikaw ba yung marites o si Sir Aling yung marites?
Yeah, I mean, she started arguing over the garbage.
Bilisan mo nang magkwento ko, 20 minutes na lang.
Right, we know y'all had an argument. What happened? When did the argument?
2 hours ko lang to kasi mag-edit pa ulit ako later.
You can look at you. You can look at her.
Nagawa na ko. Anong ginagawa mo?
We're trying to get you to talk about what happened, how that happened.
May marites si sis ko niya tungkol kay Sir Aling? Ba.
Dishwasher, and when she went into the bedroom, and I just said, you're gonna argue. Blah, blah, blah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Blessed New Year. And all of the pills. She wants it.
Hayaan nyo na baka mag-tantrums na naman. Kaya nga si She.
Yeah, I mean,
Baka pagod pa yun sila ngayon.
the garbage disposal that came in.
Right, we know y'all had an argument.
Aaray
What
ko,
happened?
ha.
When did the argument escalate? Like, it escalated at some point. Alright, obviously. You can look at you, you can look at her.
Bahala ko
It's
mamaya,
obvious
nandiyan si
that
Cisco
they
niya.
got way beyond an argument. So that's what we're trying to get you to talk about. What happened, how that happened. And what happened.
She got in the face when I was trying to remove the dishwasher, and
Ano ba yun?
when she went into
Walang live si Cisco niyang kagabi, diba?
and I just said, you know, if they're gonna argue all night, you can go into the other bedroom.
Playing ko si Cisco niyang ninja. Ngalan Sir Allen. Ha.
Not all of her.
Pinlay mo si Cisco niya. Tapos yung ninja mo ang pangalan si Sir Allen. Allen ang pangalan. Ikaw ah.
She said, no, we're not doing this. We're not talking. And I said, you've been saying that for a year and a half.
Alam ni Cisco niya na siya yun. Ay, alam ni Cisco niya na ikaw yun.
For a year and a half. And
Anong mali?
I don't
Sir Allen na mag-explain.
how to explain it.
Kagigising na ni Sir Allen.
Did you mention on scene, did you mention to any police officers or any of the rest of the people on scene that you shot Christy out of self-defense? Did you tell that? Did you say that to anybody tonight?
I told Christy, said after the alteration started, I said 3 times very clearly through my door, I am in fear for my life. I am in fear for my life. I am in fear for my life.
You said that to Christy?
Yes.
Through which door? The front door, your bedroom door?
The bedroom door.
Why were you saying that to her? Why were you in fear? Your life, what was she doing?
Because she screams like a banshee and sit down and
Wala sis.
on a simple basis.
Anong music? Yung ano ba? Yung tagan? Yung in-upload ko ba ngayon? Yung ipipremiere ko mamayang gabi? Walang CPR yun. Diyan muna kayo. Pagigising ko lang. Okay lang sir. Go mag-breakfast ka muna. Go breakfast ka muna. Thank you very much. Yung in-upload ko ngayon sis wala yun. Walang ano yun, walang CPR yun.
I'd probably be screaming like a banshee and getting into alterations too. It's notable that 20 minutes into the interrogation, Amanda has not once asked if her wife is all right, because after shooting her twice, she really expects her to be dead.
What happened?
And she already showed me a couple of times in the kitchen, and that's when I said, alright, separate bedrooms, period, for the night. We could have just wrap this storm out, and please sign these papers for February. We're going to go through this mess, and yeah, so no, she, I shouldn't have touched her, but she put it easy on me.
Did you pull a gun out tonight? Did you hold a gun? Did you use a gun at all tonight?
I pulled a gun and told her to get the hell out of my house.
At what point did you do that? Before or after she went to separate bedrooms?
I mean, after she, I don't know what that's her, but
Which gun did you pull?
the Glock.
Okay.
What's
Black Glock.
the,
Okay. Did you ever point it at her? Did you just show it to her? And what happened with the gun?
I had it in the small of my bag
Okay.
because she was still going on and on and on about filling garbage cans and water and not helping with anything. And started slicing and dicing and I mean, I went to her bedroom and then she just kept pounding and coming in and coming in. She's not the type of person that you can just simply talk to. I mean, she's either level-headed or...
Simon, thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you shoot her? Did you feel like you needed to shoot her out of self-defense?
I think she would have killed me.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is, that's fine. I'm trying to figure out, she got shot. How did she get shot? I mean, I think you mentioned to somebody else, a patrol officer, somebody that you shot her out of self-defense. Is that correct, or did you never say that? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
I don't... Again, I mean, that's a big adrenaline rush.
But you got shot with a bullet. I mean, a bullet shot her. I'm trying to figure out if it was just the two of you at the home, right? There's no one else.
It was just us.
Okay, so...
I had to save my life.
Okay. So did you shoot her? Did you shoot Chris?
If she was hit, then that was bad aim on my part. I would never have hit anyone intentionally. It would have been a warning shot.
Okay, so you're saying you shot at her, but you didn't mean to hit her. I'm trying to understand, okay? It's not a trick question. I'm trying to understand.
I never would intentionally hit anyone.
And maybe listen to, I wasn't there. Okay, so the questions I'm asking you is because I want to understand what happened. I wasn't there. Like, I don't know what happened unless I ask you, okay? I've talked to Christy. So that's why I'm talking to you. Because you two are the only two there. So I can only go by what you tell me and what she tells me. And I'm just trying to see if it matches up or not. That's it, okay?
Yeah.
Where did you shoot at her at? You said she was pounding on the doors and everything inside the house. So where did you actually shoot at her? Was it inside one of the bedrooms? Was it inside the living room? Where did you shoot at her? You said you shot a warning shot, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Where?
I opened the front door, and that's what I told you guys when you were out looking for my drop, because it wasn't my father. So.
If she was, why would you open the front door to shoot the warning shot?
To try to get her out of the house that I've been waiting for 2 years, which hasn't completed a timeline, and I just get yelled at every day.
Okay, but if you went outside the front door to try to get her out of the house and to fire a warning shot, then you could have left, right? Because you already said you went out the front door, you opened the front door, so you could have just left. I mean, you felt like your life...
It doesn't work that way.
Well, I'm saying, you felt like your life, you were in fear for your life. You said you went outside the door, you had a gun on her. So, did she have a gun on her?
She has 2 of my guns.
Okay, where was the gun on her? You said yours was in the small on your back. Where was her gun?
She has an ankle holster for my Beretta's Tomcat that I gave to her, and then she has my American Arms Raven.
Did she have a gun tonight?
She always has a gun on her.
Which gun did she have on her?
I mean, I'm assuming it would have been the Beretta, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I was trying to practice.
The reality of what happened behind the scenes is worse than you're imagining. According to Christy, in the midst of an argument, Amanda raced out of their bedroom and returned with a gun, threatening to kill Christy. Terrified, Christy managed to flee, racing to a neighbor's home, where she was shot at twice as she ran for her life. And that's not even touching on what Amanda tried to do to Christy behind closed doors. Something that Amanda has failed to mention so far, because it makes it undeniable that she was the aggressor all along.
But I don't even understand why you can't protect yourself in your house and if you've been...
Was she threatening you with the gun?
And that was with the pizza knife. And I hope you guys know that. Because,
Okay, what about pizza?
well, that's what's.
So you're saying Christy cut you up like that?
Yeah, well,
Was that
part
before?
of this is a bush and the roll, but no, I mean, the stab is it.
Was that
Honestly, needs stitches.
Was that before or after you fired the warning shot?
No, this was before.
She cut you up before?
Yeah, and I needed to get her out.
So why didn't you fire a warning shot or shoot at her then when she was cutting you up? You said you had a gun on you already. So why didn't you use the gun to stop her from cutting you if you had the gun on you already?
Because that's a last resort.
Well, I understand that, but if she's cutting you up, you said you fired a warning shot because she was yelling and screaming. Obviously, cutting you is more severe than yelling and screaming, so that would have been the time to probably.
She's yelled and screamed for months, so I took physically what I could, but I made a vow to protect and honor and.
Amanda, listen to me, okay? You're not being honest with me. Okay, I think there might be some truth to what you're saying, but you're trying to give me a different version of the story than I already know happened. Okay, man, you gotta be straight with me. Okay, you're a smart person. I can tell that. I saw the degrees in your house. I saw your MBA. I saw your other master's degree. You're smart. Okay. So you know that what you're saying doesn't add up.
I don't have anything to hide.
Well, I understand that, but you said you opened the front door to fire a warning shot, okay? There was a casing in your driveway, not outside the front door, okay? And then there's another casing. Explain to me how a bullet hole got in your neighbor's front door.
Because we ended up running across the driveway almost over into the neighbor's yard.
Okay, but if you're running outside the house, then you gotta run away from her. So did you shoot at her outside? I mean, how are you shooting into the neighbor's house if you're running down the street, like you're running away? You would have had to shoot at her while she's running towards the neighbor's door. I mean, the bullet went all the way through their front door. Did you ever shoot at her? I mean, was she shooting at you? You gotta help me understand what happened. I'm asking these questions because I don't know.
Yeah.
If she's over here and you're over here, why are you shooting at her? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Because she's threatening my life, my safety, my family.
How many phones you guys have?
3.
Christy's over here at your neighbor's house. You're over here at your house. Why did you shoot at her if she's all the way over there? Why did you shoot at her? And how did the bullet get through the neighbor's front door?
Through the front door, honestly, I have no damn clue.
Did you shoot a gun at Christy?
Yes,
Okay. How many times did you shoot the gun?
I fired a warning shot, and I fired a second shot.
Warning shots are fired in the sky or the ground or anywhere where they can't hurt someone. Amanda's alleged warning shot ricocheted through the neighbor's home that her wife was fleeing into, bursting through the living space with such force that it exploded out of the back door of the home. After firing the second shot that struck Christy in the head, Amanda realized that Christy had managed to get the neighbor's attention, so she fled. That's when Christy, breathless and terrified, urged her neighbor to call 911.
When you say you fired a warning shot, what is that? You fired up in the air, you fired out down at her feet, like what do you mean?
Yeah, like up in the air.
Okay.
Like,
Where was that?
just
You shot at her?
away. I mean, that was the casing baby that should have found.
In the
It
driveway?
should have been the left of the
Was
driveway.
that the first one that you fired?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you fired a warning shot, like go away in the driveway, then she did go away, she's over here. So then why did you shoot at her again? It's the second shot.
Why did you shoot again, the second shot?
Because she never goes away, sir.
Oh, you just said she was standing over here at the neighbor's house.
Yeah, she was standing over there at the neighbor's house, but she doesn't back down until you hunker down into a hole. Same thing. 100,000 cents and all wrong.
I mean, why did she run to several neighbors' houses asking for help?
Because hoping she understood after the second shot that I was serious, and then I went back.
Make her know that you were serious? To let her know that you were serious?
Yes,
Okay.
that's good.
Amanda, look at me. Did you cut yourself? Or any of those from yourself doing that? With the pizza knife, did you get really upset maybe that you did something really bad that you shouldn't have done? You were super upset. Maybe you freaked out a little bit.
No, but I ran into Ornaments's Nest girls' offense.
You did what? Say that again?
Ornaments's Nest fence rules. I'm moving back to all of these windows and stuff.
You're smart, okay? I'm pretty smart too. I like to think I am. And we both know when there's a lie being told. You're telling me a lie, right? Some of the stuff you're telling me isn't okay. Be honest with me. Did you cut yourself with that pizza? Because you were scared and you were freaking out after you shot Christy.
I'm unemployed and I can afford plastic surgery, so no.
Okay. So all those cuts came from Christy.
No, all of these cuts did not go from Christy.
Okay, but some of them came from Christy's, what you're saying.
Some of them, and the bruising, I didn't do that. No, I mean, no.
But you didn't shoot Christy when you were in the house and she was cutting. You waited until she got outside, you know, the neighbor's house to shoot. Can you explain why? Is she still a threat to you as you're at your house and she's down at the neighbor's house running away from you? Is she a threat to you then?
I wouldn't say she was running away.
Well, she's here and you're here. Why shoot at her?
My dogs.
What do your dogs have anything to do with it?
Because I don't want to kill one of my animals if I do some kind of shot to the ground or been silly.
Well, what about the shot from the neighbor's front door? You know your neighbor had 2 young kids in the house sleeping. And that shot went through their front door.
No, I did not know.
They did. Did you shoot at Christy while she was in front of their house?
Would be adrenaline. It's possible, yes.
But when you were standing at your house and she was standing in front of the neighbor's house, did you see her holding a gun when you shot it?
No.
Okay. Did she threaten you with a gun?
In the house.
In the house?
But not outside the house.
So she threatened you with a gun in the house, but she used the pizza knife to cut you up?
She threatened me with a gun and asked me if I bring me back to the house. And then I keep the Glock under my pillow. I put it in the small of my bag and headed towards the kitchen.
Did you ever threaten Christy tonight? Did you ever tell her you were going to kill her tonight?
No.
Well, that's the question, because I don't know.
That's the 10 Commandments, and sorry, I shouldn't have been religion now, but I to try to follow this.
Alright, Amanda, here's the part I'm struggling with, okay? You're a smart person, you're educated, okay? Help me understand why you shot at her when you said you're in your house, there's 12 foot of grass, she's at the neighbor's house. You didn't see her holding a gun. She hadn't threatened you with a gun. You said she did that in the house, but now she's outside the house at least 12 feet away. By your own words, okay? Maybe more. Maybe a little less, but so there's about 12 feet in between the houses. And you shot at her. What was in the background? What was behind her when you shot? When you shot at her, what was behind her?
All that I saw was her.
Okay, well, thinking back now, what would have, knowing your neighborhood and the street you live on, what would have been behind her when you shot at her?
I just remember her saying she's gonna run my new job and that her uncle has people in high places that can get rid of her problems and I would never be able to separate myself from her family or her and that she would hurt me.
Is that why you felt threatened by her? Because of those things?
When you're verbally abused for a couple of years and pushed around and banged up.
I understand that, but Amanda, listen, okay, you had a gun on you. You said you had a gun on you. You had the ability to open the door and fire a warning shot, so. And then you had the ability to stand in your driveway and shoot at Christy while she's over here in front of the neighbor's house, okay? So didn't you have the ability at any point to leave or call 911 maybe? Or you run down the street to a neighbor's house and ask for help like she did?
It's hurricanes and everybody's evacuating.
At this point, it's clear that Amanda is starting to run out of excuses for firing not once, but twice at innocent people instead of calling police. What she doesn't know is that the police had been told by Christy what happened in the bathroom of the home just before she fled for her life. When Amanda returned to their bedroom with a gun, she ordered Christy to get into the bathtub, where she was presumably going to take her life. Realizing that that was obviously not a good idea, Christy pushed past Amanda and ran for help, saving her life. Which doesn't exactly make it sound like self-defense, does it?
Where were you when you shot Christy?
Wish you did.
Well, we wouldn't be here, would we? We might not be going through all this if she hadn't been. I don't know, you tell me. You shot at her? You don't know if you hit her or not?
If I wanted to hit her, she would be in ICU.
Do you feel like you needed to shoot Christy? Do you absolutely, do you feel like that you were justified in shooting Christy? Do you feel like that you should have fired that second shot? When she was over here. You do feel that way? Even though you didn't see her with a gun and she was leaving your house, getting away from you?
I wouldn't call it exactly leaving. I've been trying to do that, like I said, for months.
Well, how did she get over here to the neighbor's house? She left your house. You said you were standing in the driveway, right?
I had to get her
You
out.
fired a warning shot. You wanted to get her out. You got her out. She left. She went to neighbors. She went to different neighbors. She went to the neighbors right next to you, and then she went further down. She was leaving. She listened to your warning shot, and she was gone. So why did you shoot her?
When we left the front door of my house, and I heard a warning shot, and I was sitting in the showcase and probably objected to the right, 3-4 feet. She was still arguing and antagonizing, and I'm gonna have my cousin Billy in California still with you?
Hi, Grandma. Thank you po.
Mom,
Thank you,
Mom,
Grandma.
come get alimony and she's still going on and on and on. And that's when I again said I'm in there for my life 3 times.
Do you still think, or do in your mind, I mean, is it self-defense for you to shoot someone who's not armed, who's moving away from you? Do you call that self-defense? Do you believe that's self-defense? When you have the gun, she doesn't. She doesn't have a gun. You said she didn't have any. Can we agree? Do you agree with me? If I say that is not self-defense, do you agree with that statement? Do you believe that it was self-defense?
I didn't answer the question, but I also it's hurricane season, everybody's evacuating.
At this point, it's clear that Amanda is starting to run out of excuses for firing not once, but twice at innocent people instead of calling police. What she doesn't know is that the police had been told by Christy what happened in the bathroom of the home just before she fled for her life. When Amanda returned to their bedroom with a gun, she ordered Christy to get into the bathtub, where she was, presumably, going to take her life. Realizing that that was obviously not a good idea, Christy pushed past Amanda and ran for help, saving her life. Which doesn't exactly make it sound like self-defense, does it?
Where were you when you shot Christy?
Wish we did.
Well, we wouldn't be here, would we? We might not be going through all this if she hadn't been. I don't know, you tell me. You shot at her? You don't know if you hit her or not?
If I wanted to hit her, she would be in ICU.
Do you feel like you needed to shoot Christy? Do you actually, I mean, do you feel like that you were justified in shooting Christy? Do you feel like that you should have fired that second shot? When she was over here? You do feel that way? Even though you didn't see her with a gun and she was leaving your house, getting away from you?
I wouldn't call it exactly leaving. I've been trying to do that, like I said, for months.
Well, how did she get over here to the neighbor's house? She left your house. You said you were standing in the driveway,
I
right?
had to get her
You
out.
fired a warning shot. You wanted to get her out. You got her out. She left. She went to neighbors. She went to some
Hi,
different neighbors.
Queen Queredo. Thank you very much.
She went further.
Thank you.
She was leaving. She listened to your warning shot and she was gone.
Si Shay, hindi ako pwedeng hindi ako pwedeng mag-video bukas. Kaya nga, susulitin ko na mamaya. Kasi nga, service yun kasi si Shay. Si Team Red kasi, ano ba yan? Si Team Red, may kampanya. May meeting di advance sila bukas. Tumatakbo siyang Board of Directors ng Homeowners Association. Kaya, sa kanya talaga yung service na yun. Na hindi niya nakalimutan. Parang nagtugma lang yung sked. Hindi siya pwedeng mawala bukas dito. Kaya ako na lang magdadrive. Kaya focus lang ako bukas sa driving kasi ako yung magdadrive. Driver lang talaga ako. Driver lang.
Mom, come get alimony, and she's still going on and on and on.
Oo, si She. Board of Directors ng Homeowners Association. Sa sa February 8, yung election. Bukas yung pinaka-meeting de avance nila. Bukas. Kaya hindi siya pwedeng mag-drive. Hindi daw siya pwedeng mawala sa yun. Kasi nga, syempre, hindi naman sila kilala lahat. So, magpapakilala sila. This morning, nagpakilala na sila. Nag-ikot na sila sa mga bahay-bahay. Kaso lang, hindi pa natapos. Kaya bukas ulit ng umaga. Tapos sa hapon yung meeting de avance. Sa gabi ata yung meeting de avance. Oo, butuhan din. Mabuti nga nakapag-drive na ako dun, ilang beses na ako nakapag-drive dun sa Batangas, kaya alam ko na yung way. Tsaka mostly ano naman yun eh, alam mo yung paglabas dito, NLEX, tapos akyat ng Skyway, tapos baba ng South Luzon Expressway, tapos exit, tapos malapit na yung paghatiran. Hindi ko alam, siguro mga 7 yung pasahero ko bukas. Imagine mo, nag-driver na ako.
You don't know how you need to answer.
Oh, Batangas sila pupunta. Batangas pupunta. Parang may birthday ata. Birthday ata ng anak niya pupuntahan. May mga matatanda, may mga ano. Alam ko marami sila eh. Siguro mga 7.
She's fine. She's gonna survive. It's not like threatening injury.
Kaya nga eh.
But you did hit her.
Kaya,
You hit her.
all in naman yun eh. Kumbaga, isang presyohan lang. Tapos kasama na yung gas, kasama na yung toll fee. Kaya Skyway na para hindi ma-traffic. Kasi mahirap din kasi pag na-traffic ka, magsusunog ka ng gas. Kaya mas okay na yung Skyway. Skyway, NLEX, Skyway, SLEX, tapos exit, tapos ayun, drive sa Batangas. Maaga daw yung alis nun eh, hindi ko alam kung gaano kaaga. Basta ang alam ko maaga yung alis.
The problem with that statement is that Amanda refuses to be responsible for anything. She spent the entire interrogation
Kaya
painting
nga si
Christy as
Che,
out of control.
actually ano yun, nasa ang isang way lang ha, hanggang sa pag-exit sa Batangas, siguro abutin ng mga 600, 700. Ay, my God, ito pala yung hawak ko. Kasi alam mo ba nagtaas yung nagtaas yung toll fee, nagtaas sila ng 6 pesos. So sa pa lang, siguro abutin ng mga around 600. So sa toll fee pa lang nasa 1 to 9.
Smart devices sa buong bahay ni Kuya, seamlessly connected. Katulad ni Roberto Jarvis. Minsan pet, madalas voice control robot vacuum ng housemates.
Oo, malayo yun na sundo.
That you can voice command hands-free. Kasi rainbow lighting ang atake. Pero yung kaya...
Pero malapit lang yun kung mag-MCX kayo. Kasi pumupunta kami dati sa Nasubo kasi nandun yung isang ninong ni Bob dati.
24/7 in high resolution. Oh, no more. Get the smart home experience.
O sige na si She, doon kami nagpunta. Okay, si She, mag-o-end ako ha. Maraming salamat si She, mag-live ka na rin para matambayan kita ngayon na. Ngayon ka na mag-live. Uy, si She. Mag-live ka na ngayon ha, kasi tatambay ko sa Isikab ha.
In reality, the wounds over Amanda's
Ngayon ka na mag-live.
as she's finding her
O sige, kumain ka na, tapos magano ka na kasi pala to, more than 2 hours na. Sige, kain ka na, tapos mag-live ka na ha. Thank you very much everybody. Thank you Sir Allen, thank you Sir She. Brother Bert, maraming salamat. Kapatid Chano, maraming salamat. Sino ba to? Si Claudine Cando. Punta niya kita muna. As moderator. Puntahan ko nga muna pala itong si Sige, bye-bye si She. Bye-bye. Kita tayo later. Anong kita tayo later? Ay, my God, bakit yun? Ayan. Pupuntahan ko lang po na itong wala siya pang
So far, her side of the story is matching up with all the evidence.
Hi.
Man, it's matching up with all the evidence. She's not saying, she's just telling us the truth is matching up with the evidence.
Thank Claudine Caredo. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat. Lola Survivor. Puntahan ko yung link mo, sis.
Has great influence on things that are going to happen next. So that's why we're trying to get.
Maraming salamat si She. Puntahan ko lang muna si Lola kasi baka mawala siya sa ko eh. Nasa na ba yun?
I just don't believe that you're telling us.
Yan. The Survivor Grandma. Para mapanood ko siya. Yan, okay. Got it. Thank you si She ha. Bye-bye. Bye-bye everybody. Sis Las Faida, thank you very much. Kurimao sa Arabia, thank you. Sis Rina, thank you very much. Who was that? Sino pa yan? Si Tita May, thank you very much. Sis Teresita, maraming salamat po. Sir Alain, maraming salamat. Everybody, thank you. Cool Kid, thank you very much. Sis Rina, Kids Warriors, thank you. Thank you everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
freaking